Are you ready to awaken, heal, and align with your highest self? I'm Heather Lynn, founder of Heart Alchemy Wellness, a spiritual life coach, certified Ayurvedic nutritionist, QHHT practitioner, and 300-hour YTT yoga instructor. I've dedicated my journey to guiding others through deep transformations through shadow work and energetic healing. Through Chakra Wave Tuning and trauma-informed sound therapy, I help you unlock your inner wisdom, balance your energy, and step into your true power. Whether through one-on-one sessions or through our immersive retreats, I'm here to support your path to wholeness. Join me on this journey of self-discovery and healing. It's time to reclaim your power, awaken your heart, and step into the life you were meant to live.
Grand day, my lovers. Happy Mars Day. I hope y'all are feeling well and smelling well, because you know what? I'm feeling lots of fire energy today. Just not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. I got my Mars conjunct my Mars. Oh, can we talk about that? And I have a Pluto-Mars trine or conjunction too. And there's some stuff going on in my Cancer house. I'm like, dang. Oh yeah, Venus is just going into Cancer, so it's just been like cleaning out the old and in with the new. So is that about how y'all be feeling right now? Because I'm like cleaning out all them closets. Not even gonna lie, ever since this last full moon, like for real, it's been like closing doors, chapters. Let's just be real. I'm just sitting here along for the ride like, okay, I get it. I got the message. Time to move on. Okay, not in alignment. Good. Okay, there's the door. Open the door. Close it. Shut. All right, for those that don't know who I am, my name is Heather Lynn. I am the hostess of the mostest of Daily Heart Alchemy. It's a daily Daily Heart Alchemy. It's a daily podcast where we discuss Qigong, health, wealth, abundance, shadow work, the awakening process, you name it, we discuss it. For those that don't know, I have Chiron in my 11th house of basically close friendships, career. It has a little bit to do with like community, career. And one of my greatest gifts is basically my ability to be able to talk about my experiences during my journey, because that actually is what helps me alchemize some of the lessons that I'm here to learn. And to overcome. So, before I get started, just in case you guys are interested, I am offering a summer sale. You can do it single, 5 or 10 sessions at a time. Just click the link below, book now, and we'll get you scheduled. All right, let's dive into our community events. So Thursday, we have Release Your Inner Dragon at Alt Park. Saturday, I will be in Cincinnati with hostess of the mostest, Samantha Som of Higher Self Healing. So excited. We are going for Astrology 102. Very excited to be bringing that workshop to the Integrative Healing Center. Super excited about that. And then Then on the 22nd, we have the Sacred Vibe Tribe in Sharonville. And then, of course, the last weekend of the month is our Hocking Hills trip. We are doing a special promotion. If you want to check that out real quick, we would.
If your spirit's craving stillness and new adventures, you're in the right place. Lake Hope is calling. Will you answer? Announcing Ascending with Our Roots is moving to a new, upgraded retreat site right in the heart of Zaleski State Forest at Lake Hope, Ohio. Just 20 minutes from Hocking Hills, you'll camp beneath the trees, surrounded by tranquility and nature's beauty. We're offering the same powerful flow shops you love, plus new experiences. Explore the in-campground nature center, meet gentle reptiles, and soak up peaceful lake views. Your 2-day outdoor adventure includes plant-based picnic-style meals, elemental meditation hikes, cacao and shamanic opening, fire and flow arts, biofield tuning, yoga and hooping, all led by our dedicated facilitators. Tickets are just $55 for 1 day, or $99 for both. Spots fill up fast, so scan the QR code or visit lee.sten.to/sacredlightretreats to register. Questions? Text Marcus Christo at 513-238-5580. See you at Lake Hope.
Love to have you there. Last but not least on the agenda, because it's coming up real quick, we are going to be having the 8/8 portal in Sedona, and in late July, actually middle July, we're going to be hosting our military veterans, holistic veterans retreat for the military personnel, past and present. This is something that we're bringing to the community, trying to just, help in any way that we can, give back to the ones that help keep us safe and have served our country. So thank you. Definitely one love on that. All right, so let me cleanse the energy space, because I'm just gonna be real honest. Your girl needs it. That Mars energy. Yeah, I had to remind myself today, like, I just need to just stay out of the way, maybe hermit as much as I can until I have these events this weekend, because some of the energy that I'm working through, and I don't know if you guys understand, I'm closing house on 1,000 years of Akashic wisdom knowledge. All right, and I keep getting, spoon-fed wisdom, and I think that I'm done with the wisdom, and the door is closed, and it's like, oh no, you still have this to learn, or you have this, and I'm like, what? But I just accept it with grace and I move on. With this being the year of the snake, we are all being asked to get rid of things that don't serve us. My biggest thing is overgiven to people that do not reciprocate the love, energy, and effort in return. Right? Trying to offer me carrots when I'm giving you a whole damn buffet, right? And that's not fair. And what happens is, or what was happening is, I was giving from an inauthentic place. Come to find out along the journey, and let me just be real honest, don't ever, for me, I've come to realize I used and played the victim card very, very, very much so. At the end of the day, I was not the victim. I was actually continuing patterns of my own bad behavior that were being highlighted, okay, through lifetimes of trial and error. And I had to show myself a lot of grace. And with that wisdom, though, I now have a full kit of wisdom, knowledge, and programs that I can help others with the same problem I just went through, right? And that's why we're here. I'm just here to share the word, share the love, and, give you guys a little bit of the wisdom along the way. So that's what's up with me on this Tuesday. And I just realized, I'm like, dang, it had to be Mars on Mars on Mars. I'm like, I ain't getting out of this energy. I just need to zen out and not just keep breathing. Let's see what the energy is today. Ooh. Undeserving villains. right? Because we just talked about that. When we victimize ourselves and we blame others and say, hey, you did it to me, right? Johnny kicked me, but I forgot I stepped on his toe last week, right? You forget. And then we blame other people for our either unhealed wounds or not taking responsibility for what we're seeing. All right. Because for me, I would just bury my head in the sand and be like, I see it, but I'm just going to change me. And I would shrink down. Come to realize I would shrink down because there was a lifetime that I spent in a box. And, you know, it took a lot of the power that lifetime to be able to get out of that madness mess. But I carried a bunch of anger and rage forward because I was killed for escaping. And then the next lifetime, the girl escaped, and then I came back and I, lack of better words, I was making sure every one of them went through an awakening process. And come to find out that that wasn't necessarily the way to do it either, right? Because there was no forgiveness. An eye for an eye, we all go blind. And not only that, your soul still carries these emotional echo prints, right? Because the RNA is basically like the recorder. It's like, okay, this event happened, right? And then the DNA is like, okay, let's just start duplicating. And then all of a sudden, you have this big ass emotion that you're burying because you don't know where it's from. Once you find out where it's from, you realize that Johnny was just returning the energy, right? We're learning all about the 12 laws of karma. Why are we learning the 12 laws of karma? Because we got to realize as above, so below. And last time you may have been playing the victim, and this time you're the villain. And next time you're going to be the saint. And the next time you're going to be the superhero. Who knows? And that's why we have to give a lot of people grace and understanding and where they are at in their life. Why do you think all the stuff is coming up with Diddy and all the stuff with this, you know, human sex trafficking and stuff? It's because now is the time for us to see the truth. Quit putting our head in the sand. Quit cowering down. Speak what we see, say what we mean, and mean what we say. In the most highest light. Because if we take in that attitude like I did, like, oh no, we just gonna force you to go through an spiritual awakening by scalping them, because that's how I did it. And that last time I did. And, you know, I was trying to force them to awaken to a behavior that they didn't even see as wrong or unjust. It was just the way that they were. So undeserving villains. And as you can see, it's about bats and about how bats suck off your energy. So let's just see. It says, gentle bat knows what it's like to be an undeserving villain. Prey to the fear of others. From claims that the bringer of bad luck to accusations, it is the creature with sinister compulsion to drink, and still more allegations that is the spreader of disease and pestilence. Bat has suffered at the hands of humans' ignorance. Yes. Right? Think about the plant. The one that gets the happy affirmations and the one that gets the bad words. What happens? It withers away. The facts paint a different picture. Even though bats are unwilling vector and disease, less than per 1% of bats are infected with diseases like rabies. Canine rabies account for 98% of causes around the world. Yet our canine companions are not cast in the same light. Ooh. Another truth is that is never mentioned is that people only have been affected and infected by a bat after attempting to catch him or harm him. Ooh, did I just not say I was in a box? And then I came back and I was like, I'm going to make you go through an awakening. It is in our incursion into their habitat that exposes us to the disease they carry. That's deep. Over 1,000 bats consume billions of insects and pollinate birds of species across the planet. Only 3 species, the infinite vampire bats, consume blood, and they do so because blood is their only source of nourishment. This does not make them a villain, and in fact, it could be the heroes. Research in the property of vampires' bat saliva has revealed the potential treatment for a human stroke victim. And as I was saying, everything that I experienced was the exact dose I needed to heal myself. Right? I tasted the poison. Humans vilify bats, destroy their habitat, use millions of tons of toxic pesticides to kill the insects that the bats help control. Second, only mosquito humans are the world's most deadliest creatures, without accounting for the number of animal humans killed. Humans murder hundreds of thousands of other humans every year. So who is the real villain? The bat's message is simple. Good and bad exist in all circumstances. All living things are capable of behavior that can be perceived as harmful, but it's not detriment of all the good that they do. Do not blindly believe the antidote claims and misinformation peddled by false experts. Those with personal agenda and those who purposely paint someone or something in a bad light. Make sure information is correct and not on the truth of unfounded fears. Be sure that the little bit of truth that has been woven into the fabric of Be sure that little bit of truth has not been woven into the fabric of lies, so that the real villain, ignorance, can triumph at the expense of the other person, an unseen hero or advancement that will benefit the many. So what it's reminding us is that we cannot vilify one another. What might be medicine for you might be poison for me. All right, and this goes for relationships too. And relationships I'm just going to be honest, it has been a highlight. We are closing out karma from lifetime after lifetime after lifetimes. I just happen to have the code that says, hey, mount up. We're going to go ahead and trouble all your Akashic. As soon as these transits come through, it's going to activate all that. I didn't have a choice. But initially, I was making, that particular person the villain, because I didn't understand it. And then once I finally understood the full story, that just because you hurt me and I hurt you and we keep doing it, then neither is learning. So closure is a beautiful step, and sometimes it takes time. Okay, sometimes you can't just slam the door shut, sometimes you can, depending on what role they carry in your life. And is it in alignment with your journey? Because if you disconnect from a situation too quickly, you may not learn the lesson that you were there to learn. I would have learned this lesson a long time ago, maybe not, because I didn't get the full story until after the most recent events. And now I see the whole story, and my soul is complete. It's like, oh, thank you. I know the answer, and now I'm no longer afraid, and I feel guilty because I understand and honor and show reverence to all the times that both of us failed to follow and lead with our heart. Oh, I just got chills. Ooh, the spirit. Like, yep. So this is just a reminder. This year is about shedding snakeskin. Meaning, you don't get to pick up those pieces and be like, oh, I'm going to keep them with me. Right? When a snake sheds its skin, it has outgrown it. It's time for us to acknowledge the growth that we've experienced over the past 9 months. And I'm not going to lie, I have a whole another year with the South Node, but what's beautiful is my North Node is being activated by Venus and Jupiter, which is bringing abundance and luck and all kinds of beautiful things. And my Cancer transits are lighting up my relationships house. At the end of the day, I was overgiving, because I was overgiving thinking that love, because I love you, like that was enough. You know what I mean? I didn't understand about alignment and give and take, because, you know, my old pattern was give until I have nothing to give. And I did. And I gave, 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 and I gave more. Until I was depleted. And, you know, my body is getting to the age where it's like, you know, there's only so many hard resets you can continue to do. Right? There are only so many. Right? There are only, you know, and of course, our angels, our guides, and our ancestors are always going to follow us every day. Even if we stumble and we fall back and we take 5 steps back and only 2 steps forward, they're always with us, reminding us and encouraging us to continue the work. So, with that said, we're going to dive right into the next law of karma, because we have been diving right in, and we've been talking about the karma that I have created and experienced, and how eye for an eye, and I'm a victim, and you did this to me, so I'm going to do that to you. That stuff really gets, you know, that gets, it doesn't get you anywhere. That's the hamster wheel. That you got to get off. All right. So the great law. And actually, I'm just going to give it to you real raw. All right, because the law of cause and effects is the very first law. Every action has a reaction, right? Hang on. Basically, as above, so below. Okay, then we have number 2, the law of creation. Life just doesn't happen to you. It happens for you, for growth. The law of humility. You have to accept and take accountability for those actions and reactions that you have taken. The law of growth recognizes that you can't control external circumstances, which has been my biggest thing, is I try to control everything. You know, if my relationships were syncing up, I would try to control it and like, fix myself, do this, do that, can't do that, right? Because it wasn't my responsibility, right? I was putting in the work. The law of responsibility. You are the source of your life's experience. Taking ownership of your actions and choices lead to freedom and empowerment. And once my gene key is out of victim mode, it goes freedom, 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 freedom. All right. Then we have the law of responsibility, which we talked about yesterday. You are taking the source of your life's experience and you're taking ownership of those actions and choices. Now, today, we're going to dive into the law of connection. Everything in the universe is interconnected. Your actions, no matter how big or small, have a ripple effect. Which is exactly what I just said. You come in and you take over my kingdom, and I watch you and, you know, my daughter this lifetime get murdered. Yep, I was angry. And this seed of rage, I'm talking rage, anger, trickled out so many lessons in so many lifetimes. And so many people have been involved in this little story, right? Each lifetime was just a little bit different, but it's like, hey, do you see? Do you see the fear? Do you smell it? Actually, I was meant to awaken this lifetime. We all are awakening this lifetime. Some of us may not. But if you are meant to move forward and progress and be a participant of humanity in the future, then you have been doing the work. You've been, going through the alchemical process. You've been going through the transmutation process because your body has been purging shit since 1987, y'all. preparedness for this. And if you're starting to have like major ailments, that is because you've not been letting shit go. It's going to be real. It's my daughter. I had to do a session on her yesterday when I was done doing a session, and I don't usually feel anyone's stuff, but you know, I put on my golden gloves, I put all my protection on and stuff like that. But the energy that she was working with was blah. I told her, I was like, don't you ever come back to me. Like I've already told her like 3 times. Quit coming back to me at a 5. Today she came back or yesterday she came out of 0. And I played her biofield for her, and I went around and I was like, do you hear that? I was like, no wonder why your car battery died, because your energy is dead. Like your body is screaming, ras. Like I could hear her freaking feet screaming to me, touch me, touch me. And it was letting me know that her whole system needed to be reset. And I don't know what it is about the feet talking to me lately, but they do. I don't know. It's something to do with the reflexology and the biofield and just the way I'm channeling, but they speak. The damn feet speak. The feet speak. They speak their own language. They're like, give me, give me, give me. So I was able to get her back. So she had to have 40 minutes of cupping and TENS unit. We had to do 2 times on the TENS unit. She started to get a humpback, and I'm just going to be real honest. If y'all got a humpback, that is stressed to death, and y'all need to, I can help with that. But it's time to listen, is what my guides are saying. It's time to listen. If your shoulders are sore, you know, you're having like C1, C3, C5, you know, anything going on with the spinal channel, that is your wisdom and your knowledge. And if you go back and look at what vertebrae represents what, it will give you the exact emotion of what it is that vertebrae is giving you. Everything's interconnected. Everything is one, right? So I did get her tuned up, but I just reminded her, I was like, oh, and I went into my shamanic space, which I've never done with her. And I was like, I don't care. I have to. Like I had to, she had some energy attachments on her sacral chakra. You know, there was an entity on her solar plexus that I had to remove. So I'm sitting here with my, you know, doing my shamanic stuff, weaving out the snake and, you know, the entity and getting rid of it. But I told her, I was like, girl, do you even recognize what is going on? I was like, you have no shield up. None. And your light is bright. So we've, you know, and as we were going through the session, I was telling her what I was hearing. She's like, I don't need to hear all of that. And you know what I said? I am the guide. And if you want this energy cleared, my darling, and you want me to continue to work on you, then you're going to listen to what your guidance is telling me, because that's why you're here. Deny it all you want. I love you, but Mama has you on this one. I got you on that one. I do know this, right? My daughter's a generating manifester. She's here to create the new earth. However, the changes that I've experienced going from, you know, a multi-million-dollar business owner to pretty much starting a, you know, wellness center, it's completely night and day. You know, the work that I was doing was business. I was like, do, masculine. I don't care about my system. And that energy is what she is stuck in. She watched me in fight or flight for so many years, which I'm assuming, I'm just going to be honest with myself. I know when she was growing up that my system was in fight or flight. I know for a fact that my system has recently got out of fight or flight within the past 2 years, which meant that her growing up her entire life, I wasn't my highest self, and I have to honor that and be okay with that. I was a good mom. That doesn't mean that, my daughter didn't never go without. She always had love, but I tried to smother her with my love versus giving her that autonomy to be herself. Anyway, she decided, she was like, I'm myself anyway. So, but once I learned her design, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes so much sense why she was just so like, this is not it, right? Like, this ain't it. Like, if I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. Me, I was like, my parents told me to do it, I had to do it. That's the way that I was programmed, and she was teaching me how to step in my power in so many ways. I'm here to teach her to listen to her body, and she's taught me, honestly, spirituality. I was teaching Bible school. She asked the pastor's wife what the burning bush meant, and instead of them saying that they were on sacred medicine that would allow them to go into a state to where they could potentially, see things visually, instead she just, and then my daughter was like, well, that doesn't make sense, because she was already seeing, and she saw the lie. You can't lie to kids, especially when they're awakened. But all right, so let's just dive right into our Qigong today. All right, let's create some of this Qi that we need to go shine out in the world. We're gonna shine, aren't we? All right, so here we go. We're gonna do our Qigong. Qigong is it's an energy practice. It's real simple. It takes us 2 minutes. So let's do it. We're gonna clap our hands 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Get all that Mars energy out. Moving to our underarms. If you have full mobility, this is how you want to do it. If you have any appendages, you have sovereignty. You know exactly where your body can and cannot go. Remember, we just said we weren't a victim. We have to take accountabilities for our actions when we overdo our body. Our body always tells us if it's not right. So if it's not right, don't do it. Right? Don't let the ego talk into something like, oh, I'm going to just try this. And then you're not in the capacity to lift your arm all the way up, and you cause, let's just be real, you cause further damage, because not only did you allow your ego to take over, you weren't listening to your higher self, and your higher self was saying, hey, we still got some blockages and some crystallization here that needs to be released and removed before we are going to move this arm up any further. Okay, I've done that. I've destroyed my thoracic 4 or 5 times until I finally learned like the spiritual meaning. Actually, let's just look it up. Look it up. Google, thank you. We're just going to look at C5, because my daughter has a C3, C1, C3, C5. That's where I was getting the messages. Spiritual meaning. Communication and expression. It's all about the throat chakra located in the neck. It's often associated with communication, self-expression, speaking one's truth. She has a roommate that refuses to get out. It's been really affecting her throat block, her throat. But that is actually just the top part right here. Self-worth, confidence, forgiveness and release, emotional carry, right? I told you the C5, the thoracic is all about carrying the weight of others. It's anger. So it's basically, some believe that the neck can carry emotional burdens, including unresolved feelings, anger, or a sense of holding on to difficult situations. Neck pain may reflect the weight of unresolved issues. All right, now let's go down to the thoracic. because this would be the area that would be causing you issues between here and here, throat and here. Ooh, it is associated with the heart chakra and the ability to express love and compassion. It's bridge between the worlds. So basically, when your thoracic is closed, you need to work on the heart chakra. All right. So anything from like here to here is all about the heart, right? All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo, take a deep breath. Yes. Do it again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to do some breath work today too. All right, we're going to move to our elbow creases. And y'all know me. I like that one when I ever die. Time to release that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Have I learned my lesson yet? Open eyes? No. I have learned I'm being guided. I'm being guided. I've let everything go. But it does take me a little longer to integrate the wisdom. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Told you. See? All right, let's do our feet. See what the feet have to say. The feet have to say. Your feet say a lot. Your feet say a lot. Do people's, do their feet, their stomachs, their hearts. And the third eye, I'm just going to be honest. If the third eye is real bad, you know, they do. But I don't really, I get, because I'm more of the, I'm the bridge. I work up to the heart. And I do have practices to cultivate the Kundalini to make it rise west the way up. But, you know, the collective itself, we have to rise to that vibration before we start sending people to the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know, I'll be honest, I have to remind myself some days like, hey girl, you gonna, because I tap into some of these states and stuff like that. And the wisdom just is like, which is, you're tapping into universal consciousness is what you're doing. You're tapping into the Akashic records and accessing all the wisdom from time and space. But I don't know what's happened. Well, I do know what's happened. So my Pisces moon is going through this transit to where all of my gifts that I tried to hide are being activated. Well, they've been activated. They are being heightened. So like I said, I have people's feet screaming at me, and I have their guts screaming at me, kidneys, you know, colon, stomach, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, I've been working with my guides, like, what am I supposed to do with this? You know, like, I understand I'm telepathic. I understand that I'm a spiritual intuitive and I feel other people's vibes and stuff like that. But what the hell am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, hey, sir, my higher self says that your stomach needs some issues. Have you been having some issues lately? Because really, I know the emotions that store there, and my guides are like, yeah, you're supposed to tell them. You know, kidneys. Kidneys is supposed to, you know, release all the toxins. What is it out of your life that you cannot remove out of your life? Right? Your bowels is supposed to excrete waste. Think about it. You can have irritable bowel syndrome where you poop too much, and then you have where you don't poop at all and you're constipated. IBC. either way, you should be flowing properly. And if you're not pottying properly, then that's the sign right there. And your body will throw you little wisdom signs, you know, but I guess I've just been asking, you know, with my higher self, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Because I'm a messenger. And I just don't want people to get really mad at me. And I was guided like, it doesn't matter if they get upset. I'm a 5-1. My job is to attract people to me that need my essence. Period. Which means people are going to come see me that walk similar paths that I've walked, because I have the wisdom of how to help them. Right? And I'm just going to be real. I tell everyone, this is not forever. Right? It's not forever. Now, tune-ups are different, right? Attunements and tune-ups, right? That stuff is something that needs continuation. But like my daughter, if she keeps coming back, I just told her that she tried it. I just shut her down. I'm like, no, don't. I was like, not only that, it's unhealthy for your body. And you know what she told me last night? That she was having issues with her, where she had surgery. Y'all know that she had a fistula a year ago, and then she had an inflamed tailbone here. They were both immediate eruptions of emotions. She was not dealing with her emotions, and she told me, and I was like, get your butt over here now. You know what's crazy is I saw her have an energetic release, and she kind of just, like, I saw her body go like this and stuff, and I knew what it was because I was working that area. Like, I knew it, and I just told her, I was like, you just had an energetic release, and I just felt all that energy just go. I mean, that's my daughter. You know how long I was working harder on her than I have a lot of people. I'm like, what are you doing, kid? You're 22. You've got to start, so I gave her Reiki and I worked on her, and I'm just like, you got to come over in 2 weeks again. I was like, you need to start doing it until we get you out of fight or flight. And you need to do these exercises too, and you need to do this breath work, because that's going to reset your sacral chakra and your root chakra. Because the stuff that's going on with her roommate is, last year when she was in her Chiron wounding, she separated with her boyfriend, and she's going through the same very familiar emotions. Because I'm just going to be real, if y'all haven't seen this year's a repeat of last year. We just have different skills of how to handle it. Did you recognize? Yep. What's different? We're no longer in Capricorn. Capricorn is saying, hey, shit is shit. Aries is like, hey, let's peace out. We make a new way. We burning it all down. And what does not serve me is going to be burnt down. And then whatever rises out of the ashes is what is authentic to you. So, just a little fruit for thought. Don't let your system get to a zero, to where you're literally about to start popping major surgeries. My daughter got really mad at me when I gave her the exact lowdown and scoop of what both of her surgeries were. Do you think she listens now? She still comes in at almost at a zero, but she is listening to her body, because she's like, I'm having some discomfort down there again. And I'm like, well, you know what that is. You ain't dealing with your emotions, boo. And you got to deal with your emotions. You can't just not deal with it. You can't just stuff it and just continue to move through life. Because guess what? If not, you're going to have your asshole blow out. And I'm not even sorry about that. Facts. Facts. Look them up. Fistula. Spiritual meaning. Told you what she was going through. A disruption in the natural flow of energy, a disconnected from one's true self or hidden wound that needs healed. Oh. Boyfriend found out he was still being a little freaking snake. Her being a manifesting generator, manifested a fucking surgery within 3 freaking weeks, y'all. 3 weeks. 3 weeks of feeling like that. Didn't have any problems at all. Well, she did. She did. She actually, what started is she fell on her butt and bruised her butt in her senior year. So whatever emotion she was going through, and I know what we were going through, her and I were fighting like cats and dogs. I was trying to regain my power and it was just hell. So whatever emotions had to do with what was going on in our home that year was being activated. And this is a part of her Chiron wounding. And her Chiron wounding is about basically putting people above and looking at them through rose-colored glasses. All right, now let's look up what the ingrown hair on tailbone, spiritual meaning. So when you guys need to know your design, if you're a manifester and then yo start going, and we're Age of Aquarius, this shit's lightning fast. Woo! It says, while an ingrown hair can be a common physical issue due some spiritual beliefs connected to ailments to deeper emotional and spiritual meaning. She was going through her Chiron wounding, right? So beautiful. Says the tailbone is seen as a point of connection to Earth's energy and the foundation of your being. It's linked to self-worth and connection to your authentic self. The sacrum connected to the tailbone relates to your identity, purpose, and inner conflict. I tell you about our story. My daughter is karmic as they come. I love her to pieces and I'm here to serve her this lifetime because when she was the queen or the princess, I did not honor that. And she was murdered by my lover. That is her wounding. All about self-worth and identity. So it says, may represent repressed anger brought to the surface during feelings of despair, powerlessness, or a lack of success. Pain association with abscess can indicate guilt related to anger. Location on the tailbone could signify unresolved issues related to self-worth, grounding, or a lack of connection to core self, right? So listen to your body. If your body is start giving you signals and you feel anything, find out, locate where it's at. Look up the spiritual meaning. You don't need me for this. I'm just here to give you the wisdom that you can find anything. Stub your right toe. Look it up. Sore throat. Oh, if you're a Taurus moon, that's something that just is common. Have a sore throat. Know the ailments. Know your design. I'm really diligent about my daughter now because her being a manifester. And she's like, I don't like that stuff. I was like, really? I was like, you had one surgery, you came home and you were pissed off, you kept putting out the same energy, and then you had to have another one 3 weeks later. I was like, do you not see the correlation? And she does, and she did, but of course I'm mom, so she kind of has, right? Mom's not right. And of course, I respect that. Of course. This lifetime, she is here to be in her own lane, right? And when I try to take care of her and be overbearing and stuff like that, That doesn't work because she doesn't need that. She needs love and a reassurance and a reminder that her body is a powerful tool and that it is her responsibility to take care of it. So with that said, I hope y'all learned a lot about our emotions, how they can manifest as ailments, how quickly they can manifest. And I'm just going to be real. Now is not the time to manifest some ailments because the rate in which the ailment will, progress. I have to teach my daughter how to alchemize. I have to teach her how to release. She has the addiction gene key. That's brutal. That's brutal to have the addiction gene key. And what's funny is I think her father, and it's not hers is addicted to mental patterns. I know because I've had to retrain my subconscious from the same patterns that I'm basically alchemizing, but I can only do so much. I can only do the lineage trauma release. She has to do her own inner work and find the rest of her soul, fragments that she's missing. I can only do it for her and I. She's lived many of my lifetimes. See? All right. One love, y'all. That's all I got for you. One love.
Daily Heart Alchemy, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. YouTube, Sacred Light Broadcast Network, Facebook, Heather L. Thomas. Scan the QR code today to get started to book and browse services with Heather Lynn of Heart Alchemy Wellness.
Attention veterans, your next mission healing and community in beautiful Loveland, Ohio. Imagine a place where nature's serenity meets powerful ancient healing practices. Welcome to the first ever Holistic Healing for Veterans Retreat, happening July 12th and 13th in Loveland, Ohio. This is not just any retreat. Hosted by Marcus Christolite of Sacred Light and co-hosted by former Marine Sergeant AJ Lardy, this 2-day outdoor camping experience is designed just for you. Alongside fellow Sacred community members Heather Lynn of Heart Alchemy Wellness, Lauren aka Peach, Katie Singing Eagle, and Niara, you'll dive deep into holistic shamanic level flow shops. Picture this: sound healing that calms your mind, shadow work that uncovers your true self, and subconscious reprogramming to help you rewire the brain from PTSD and trauma. All set in a beautiful, secluded, natural setting with a magical riverside. And it doesn't stop there. We'll provide clean, vibrant meals for all diets, ensuring you nourish your body as well as your spirit. Let's grow together as a community, bringing empowering healing to ourselves and our loved ones. Tickets are incredibly affordable. Just $33 for 1 day or $77 for the full 2 days. But remember, you must register first. Scan the QR code on the flyer or visit the site next to the code. Got questions? DM Marcus Christolite directly at 513-238-5580. This is your chance to find peace, connect with fellow veterans, and embark on a journey of profound healing. One love.